Let's talk about money, folks. Not about winning the lottery money, but the kind that shapes our world. We're talking about wealth, the big bucks, the kind that buys you a yacht, a private island, or maybe even a small country. The problem is, this wealth isn't spread out evenly, not even close. The gap between the super rich and everyone else is like the Grand Canyon massive and a little bit terrifying. Think about it. A handful of people control more wealth than half the world's population. That's not just unfair, it's a system out of whack. This isn't just about envy, it's about opportunity. When a tiny percentage of people hold most of the wealth, it warps our economy, our politics, and even our dreams. It creates a system where the rich get richer, and everyone else is left scrambling for scraps. We're going to dive deep into how this happens, the mechanisms, the policies, and the institutions that keep the scales tipped in favor of the wealthy. And trust me, it's more messed up than a $10,000 gold-plated toilet. Buckle up. Here's a dirty little secret. The rich don't get richer just by working hard. They have a different playbook altogether. Sure, they might work hard, but the real key is making their money work for them. It's a strategy that goes beyond mere effort. It's like having an army of tiny money-making robots that never sleep, constantly generating wealth. Think about it this way. Most of us earn a salary, a fixed amount for our time and effort. We trade our time for money, often working long hours to make ends meet. The wealthy, however, use their money to buy assets, things like stocks, bonds, real estate. These assets appreciate over time. These assets are like magical money trees, generating more money even while the wealthy sleep. It's passive income at its finest. The stock market, for instance, is like a giant casino where the house always wins, if you're playing the right game and know the rules. The wealthy can afford to take bigger risks, investing in companies and ventures that most of us can only dream of. They have the cushion to absorb losses. And guess what? Those risky bets often pay off big time, further widening the gap between the rich and everyone else. They call it compound interest, the idea that money makes more money. It's a powerful force. It's like a snowball effect, but instead of snow, it's piles of cash. The more it rolls, the bigger it gets. And let's be clear, this isn't about being smart or savvy. It's about having the initial capital to get into the game. Without that, the doors remain closed. Let's talk about taxes, the thing we all love to hate. Taxes are a necessary part of our society, funding everything from public schools to infrastructure. But here's the kicker. The tax system, as it stands, is like a playground for the wealthy, full of loopholes and deductions you wouldn't believe. These loopholes are often legal, but they create a huge disparity. It's enough to make you want to pull your hair out, if you're not already bald from stress. The complexity and unfairness of the system can be overwhelming. Think of it as a two-tiered system, one for the average Joe paying his fair share, and another for the wealthy who hire an army of accountants to exploit every loophole imaginable. This creates an uneven playing field. They're playing a different game altogether, one where the rules are bent in their favor. They have the resources to navigate and manipulate the system. Take capital gains tax, for instance. This is a significant area where the wealthy benefit disproportionately. It's the tax you pay on profits from selling assets like stocks or real estate. These assets often appreciate significantly over time. Now, for most of us, this tax rate is higher than the rate we pay on our regular income. This can be a substantial burden for the average person. But guess what? The wealthy pay a much lower capital gains tax rate, sometimes even zero. This allows them to accumulate wealth at an accelerated rate. It's like getting a free pass to keep more of their millions while the rest of us struggle. This disparity contributes to the growing wealth gap. Then there are the offshore tax havens, sunny islands with lax regulations where the wealthy stash their money, hidden away from the taxman. These havens are a major issue in global finance. It's estimated that trillions of dollars are stashed in these offshore accounts, money that could be funding schools, healthcare, or even just fixing those potholes on your street. This lost revenue impacts public services and infrastructure. Let's be honest, banks aren't exactly known for their warm and fuzzy feelings. They are more like the stern guardians of your financial future. They're like the gatekeepers of the financial system, holding the keys to loans, investments, and all those other fancy financial tools that can make or break your dreams. They decide who gets to play the game and who has to sit on the sidelines. Here's the thing. Banks love the wealthy. They roll out the red carpet for them. They're like VIP clients who get the red carpet treatment, access to the best investment opportunities, and loans with ridiculously low interest rates. It's a world of privilege and exclusivity. It's like getting a backstage pass to a concert where the only song played is "Money, Money, Money." The wealthy dance to a different tune. Meanwhile, the rest of us are stuck in the nosebleed section, struggling to get a loan, let alone access the kind of investment opportunities that could help us build real wealth. It's a constant uphill battle. It's like trying to win a marathon with one shoe untied while the wealthy are driving a Ferrari. The playing field is anything but level. And let's not forget about the fancy investment firms and hedge funds, the financial masterminds who manage billions of dollars for the ultra-wealthy. They operate in a world of high stakes and high rewards. They play the market like a fiddle, using complex algorithms and insider knowledge to squeeze out every last drop of profit. It's a sophisticated game of strategy and precision. It's a game rigged in their favor. And guess who ultimately benefits? The wealthy, of course, you guessed it, the wealthy. They continue to amass fortunes while the rest of us watch from the sidelines, dreaming of a piece of the pie. Let's talk about something that's rarely discussed openly. The elephant in the room of wealth inequality: inheritance. It's the ultimate unearned advantage, a financial head start that can make all the difference in life. Imagine this. You're born into a family where money is no object. You go to the best schools, travel the world, and never have to worry about student loans or making rent. That's the reality for a small percentage of the population who inherit vast fortunes, often built on generations of privilege. This inherited wealth isn't just about money. It's about connections, networks, and opportunities that are passed down like family heirlooms. It's like being handed a golden ticket to the top, while others are stuck navigating a maze with no way out. Now, some might argue that inheritance is simply part of life, a way to provide for future generations. But here's the thing. When vast sums of wealth are passed down untaxed or lightly taxed, it creates a system where the playing field is tilted from the very beginning. It perpetuates a cycle of inequality, where the wealthy stay wealthy and everyone else is left playing catch-up. So far, we've been focusing on wealth inequality within countries. But here's the thing, it's a global issue. The gap between rich and poor countries is even more staggering than the gap within them. It's like comparing a first-class suite on a luxury jet to a rusty bicycle with a flat tire. Colonialism, globalization, and unfair trade deals have created a system where wealthy nations benefit at the expense of developing countries. It's like playing a game of Monopoly where one player starts with all the properties and the other players are left with nothing but debt. Think about it. Multinational corporations, often based in wealthy nations, exploit cheap labor and resources in developing countries, extracting profits and leaving little behind. It's like sucking all the juice out of an orange and then tossing the peel back, expecting it to grow into a new tree. This global wealth gap isn't just morally wrong, it's a recipe for instability, conflict, and mass migration. When billions of people are trapped in poverty, while a select few live in obscene luxury, it's only a matter of time before the whole system starts to crumble. Okay, so we've painted a pretty bleak picture so far, but here's the good news, it doesn't have to be this way. We can change the rules of the game and create a system where wealth is distributed more fairly. First things first, let's fix the damn tax code. No more loopholes, no more offshore havens, no more special treatment for the wealthy. It's time for everyone to pay their fair share, and yes, that includes billionaires. We also need to invest in education, healthcare, and affordable housing, the building blocks of a strong and equitable society. When everyone has access to these essential services, it creates a level playing field where everyone has the opportunity to succeed. And let's not forget about raising the minimum wage, strengthening unions, and promoting policies that support working families. When workers earn a living wage and have a voice in the workplace, it lifts everyone up and creates a more just economy. This isn't just about economics, it's about fundamental fairness. It's about creating a world where everyone, regardless of their background or zip code, has a shot at a decent life. We need to move away from the idea that greed is good, and that accumulating massive wealth is the ultimate measure of success. Instead, let's focus on creating a society that values compassion, empathy, and shared prosperity. It's time to challenge the status quo, to demand better from our leaders, and to hold those in power accountable. We can't just sit back and hope for the best. We need to be the change we want to see in the world. This isn't about punishing success. It's about creating a system where everyone has the opportunity to succeed. It's about building a world where everyone has a fair shot at achieving their dreams, regardless of the size of their bank account. The concentration of wealth in the hands of a few is not inevitable. It's a choice. It's a choice we make every day through our policies, our priorities, and our actions. We can continue down the path of unchecked greed and widening inequality, or we can choose a different path, a path that leads to a more just and equitable future for all. The choice is ours. Let's choose wisely.